Nice view of the sausage curb.
Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to One Hub Racing Pinnacle tier. You've joined us at the perfect time as we are just loading in for qualifying around the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. We're here for an excellent round of the One Hub Pinnacle tier. It is the season you want to watch because we have a championship battle heating up between Montana and Tom Robbo, and a lot of interesting drivers here tonight. A lot of battles across the field, but it is the two Williamses who are dominating the championship. I am joined, as I've been joined every week, by Jamie. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Should be a good one. And with Montana's absence last week, and Tom obviously taking the full 20 points. Didn't take 21, but the 20 points, it means the championship is closed up, and then Williams guys, it could be a private battle. Now, because she just sorted, I think them two are just they're not gonna work together now. They're gonna try and fight each other, which will make it even more exciting.
Yeah, of course, if you'd like a Constructors Champion up to date, get ready for this one, folks. Williams Racing have 203 points, and they lead the Constructors Championship after 8 rounds by 116 over Alpine, who have 87. So, safe to say they are probably going to win it. Then it is Aston Martin 5 points behind Alpine, so there's a bit of a scrap for second as we're on board with Owen Wyatt. He's serving a engine penalty for today, so we won't be seeing him get a lap. Got his first podium last week in Brazil after a post-race penalty for TF Legend, who's in the Scarlet Red Ferrari in front of the Tifosi today. He will not want a post-race penalty after this one, of course. That was with an incident with Larkin. That's what he got that one for. But here we go then. Qualifying getting started, and the two Williams, are they celebrating already? They're going around in formation. Having a bit of a battle here into Lesmo 2. They are going around in formation, and just like Miss Bono said to Hamilton back in 2017, to show our Italian colleagues. That is definitely a statement by the Williams pairing, but we're underway here in qualifying for everybody else now who are not going side by side and making statements. They are focusing on getting their qualifying laps put in, and I believe the first man who will be starting a lap is going to be the Williams of Tom Robbo. Of course, Tom Robbo, last time he raced here, he finished second for the Renault team. That was on F1 2020. That was a race won by Netski for Mercedes, and then Lakitu actually finished third in that one. He finished for Ferrari on home soil. He's in an Alfa Romeo today, still an Italian car, but Tom Robbo is starting his qualifying lap. He's getting going down towards Rettifilio. Decent through there for Tom Robbo. Of course, this is just a banker run on the mediums. I wouldn't expect any world record pace from the Williams.
A lot of guys out in the mediums, obviously, because they just trying to save set of softs for later on in the race, because obviously you only get the 3 sets of softs, and the fresh set of softs is somewhat advantageous than the used set. And these guys, yeah, just trying to get a solid lap in, and yeah, we've got 3 guys today taking engine penalties, so that's Mata. Lakitu was meant to take his last week, but obviously he couldn't race, so he's carried over this week, and also Owen Wyatt. So they're allowed to do an outlap and come back in to save themselves. But yeah, them guys will be sat at the back. We've got 11 guys that are going to set a qualifying lap tonight.
Yeah, as we can see, Tom Robbo in an in-car camera just beside his helmet. The man currently second in the championship with 99 points, just behind his teammate Montana. He won his first race of the season in Interlagos, as that is confirmation of Owen Wyatt out of the session through Parabolica, or what is now the Alberto Vascari curve. Across the line, Tom Robbo, of course, will set the pace with a 20.3. We'll see what his teammate can do. Montana, he's going to cross the line. He is 3/10 slower than his teammate. Okay, that's good. Good banger for Tom Robbo. I say that's good. Not from our perspective, from Tom Robbo's perspective, as that's actually a great lap from Chalkers for Red Bull. Red Bull don't normally run too well around Monza, but that is certainly a good lap for Chalkers. Larkin pops in behind. He is 1.6 seconds behind Montana. Next man to complete a lap will be the AlphaTauri of Robin West. The ERT man joined alongside Konzo for AlphaTauri, rounding the final corner. See what he can do across the line. Hooks right along the right hand side. It'll be 4th on the softs for Robin West, so he'll want to improve on that. J. Cole goes 5th, just narrowly beats his teammate. Legend goes 3rd, and beats Montana. So Montana definitely, yeah, Montana's up on his run here. Just looking at the telemetry, of course, you can have a look at the telemetry as well using !help in the stream chat. Heads through the Ascari chicane. And he was up on his time, but he's lost quite a bit through that section. So Montana is not having the best evening here in Monza so far. We say that, we still have 13 minutes left of qualifying. I probably am over-exaggerating just a little bit, and he pulls into the pit lane. Montana will stay there for the next couple of minutes anyways. Conzo down towards turn number 1. The number 28 man, he's had a decent few performances, but it's mainly been mediocrity this season for Conzo, which is unfortunate because he's a good driver, he's a nice lad, and we want him to do well as he heads down towards turn number 4 and 5. It says it's purple on the game. It is not in fact purple for Conzo. It was a 26-7 in the first sector. To give retrospect, it was a 26-6 for our poleman. Chalker's actually the man purple in the middle, or the first sector. And then Legend is purple in the last sector. So it is very split. But Conzo not doing too bad in the first sector. The second sector now, it is a 27-1, and it was a 26-7 is purple. So Conzo is still running well. Is he going to get a bit of a slipstream from J. Cole there? That'll help his time a bit. Of course, Monza, the temple of speed. And well, the famous quote from Enzo Ferrari. People who can build engines don't need aerodynamics. I've said it backwards, but it's the same thing as Conzo. Slots in behind his teammate in 7th.
Yeah, he's got a bit of fuel. He's got about 3 laps of fuel, so he wasn't on an empty tank there. So a decent lap there by Conzo. Yeah, and Montana, he was never going to finish that lap because he only had half a lap of fuel left. So yeah, he was just pushing limits, and I think he was just hiding a bit of pace in that on that lap there. He didn't want to show his hand yet. He wants to show a bit more. But yeah, Chalker's great lap by him. I was impressed by him. Chalker's this season, he has had pace. He's done well in qualifying, but he just hasn't strung a race together. And yeah, you'd be happy with that, and not splitting the two Williamses. And Tom Robbo is out on the softs, and these guys, and they've done their meeting laps now. They're going to come out on the softs, and they're going to start to see a bit more of the true pace starting to form now. As Robin West is the only guy at the moment to set a lap on softs, and I don't think he had a particularly good lap either. I don't think he's capable a lot more of that. But the two Williams are out first again, so we're going to see the Williamses set the times first.
Yeah, we can see Montana on the set of softs. It'll be the guys leading the way in the championship, leading the way on the race circuit this evening.
Ride down, interesting. Obviously, he's creeping the back of Tom. I wonder if Ride down may fancy maybe get a bit cheeky toe down the start finish straight. But if you do that, you got to be careful because you may just lose it coming out parabolic of the dirty air. So yeah. I think he's too far back from the toe though. I think they're just trying to give himself just enough room to set the flying lap as Tom Robbo going to come around the parabolic now to start flying lap, and well, this lap time will show. We'll see what the true pace is on this lap is completed.
Yep. Here we go then, down towards turn number 1. The fastest ever lap on average speed is around Monza. Well, Tom Rowe will be beating that. Of course, this is a game, so will not count towards a record, because there's definitely been some guys got 700 kilometers an hour in some form of virtual racing at some point down the straight. Heading through the Curva Grande, turn number 3, towards the Varante della Roggia chicane of 4 and 5. Braking now just after the 100 metre board. That is a fantastic first sector for Tom Robbo. He is definitely purple, but that's to be expected due to the upgrade in tyres. Lesmo 1 now. Don't want to run too wide, you'll find just have spin into the wall. Here is Lesmo 2. And down towards the start-finish straight, which you go under the old banking. We're on board with the Williams here. He is flat out 8th gear, DRS open, using all the battery. And now you have to pile on the brakes just before the 50 metre board for the Varante Ascari. And that's what happens when you push the limits. It is invalid. We'll go straight down to his teammate Montana, who heads through Lesmo 2. Montana's purple in Sector 1. He's beaten Tom Robbo. Tom Robbo was purple in 2. But of course won't get to complete that lap due to the invalidation. Here comes Montana under the old banking with the Rolex sponsorship sign. He's up by 8/10 of a second, and once again goes purple in the middle sector. Legend has actually gone purple in the first sector now, so that is An even better improvement by the Ferrari-man, who would love a win on what is the team's home soil into the Curva Parabolica for Montana. Turn number 11, downshifting to 4th gear briefly, short shift up to 5th, and now pull to the right-hand side, almost like you're going into pit lane, but not just quite, across the line, and that's how you get yourself into the 19.4s. That is a good lap from Montana, but Legend, he's invalid as well. So Legend was on a fantastic run. He was purple in the first sector, he was a 10th off in the middle, but he has invalidated that time. Robin West is up on a time here. We'll see. Can the AlphaTaurian improve? His first lap was on a set of the softs. He is setting a personal best. That's Larkin gone to 4th for Alpine. So very good for the Alpine crew. They're having a good day of things so far. Larkin, of course, was excellent in Interlagos. I really seen a big improvement in him there. But was involved in some incidents and some spins, which unfortunately cost him. Played a gamble on the softs. Here comes Robin West to the line for the other Italian team. They're more based in Imola, but I'm sure they'd be enjoying a P5 in qualifying today, especially with a Ferrari planted behind. Is Tom Robbo gone for a second run? No, he's invalid this one as well. Legend is through the Curva Grande. Heading into the Della Roggia chicane, or the Ferrante della Roggia, if I was to say it in full Italian. That's a tricky corner now, because you have to remember the curbs have... I was going to say the curbs have been a problem, but that corner is a problem. That's Nick! Gone to second!
Wow, what a lap.
Nick has gone to second. He is the owner, so he's a bit of a fan favourite around these parts, as he has gone to second. We'll cut back down to Legend, and as I was going to ask... Oh, he's almost made a mistake. I was going to ask the driver in the commentary box. Races in one hub, of course. Were the curbs a bit of an issue earlier for you? Or for the other guys in your tier?
Yeah, there were a few guys. I remember I was following a guy on Lesmo 2, and he hit that curb you mentioned, went wide out. Somehow he didn't crash, and I had a few moments in the Roger chicane as Legend goes up to 3rd place. Chalkers.
Yeah, Chalkers looks very good around here. That's 2 laps now that have impressed me. Khalifa goes to 4th, beats his teammate Nick, but Nick is... Nick did a great job on that lap. That is excellent to be in 5th spot. I don't think Nick would have dreamed to be there. No. But he's been improving all season, Nick. He's been real steady and really improving. Got his first points in China, and he's been improving since then.
Ryder Dell goes to 4th place. So
just Jamie, quickly, seemingly your microphone's quite quiet.
Okay, I'll just I'll look at my settings.
It's good now. Whatever you did there has improved. We just have a comment as Ryder Dell has gone to 4th. Well, it was actually Larkin who commented, so he's not very focused on qualifying, is he? But that's Ryder Dell gone to 4th. A green sector for the Alfa Romeo man. Currently the lead Alfa Romeo, and will be the lead Alfa Romeo because Lakitu is serving a penalty. He's coasting on the in-lap now. J. Cole's having a bit of a push run here. He was not improving in the first sector, but we'll see what he can do in the second as he heads through Lesmo 2. This could be an in-lap, but we will wait and see. As he's heading down, we'll see what his middle sector's like. Oh yeah, it's 3 seconds down. He's not improving on this run. Conzo is heading into the Ferrante della Roggia, and he's up on his time. That is a green sector for Conzo, 26.4, which is only 2/10 off our pole sitter, Montana. So not bad for Conzo. He's been on the bubble through that first sector, so keep an eye for him making some moves into turn 1 and turn 4, because he is quick in that first sector. He's gone through Lesmo 2 now, heading towards the Ferrante Ascari, as he's 0.6 of a second up. It's a 26.7, and that again is only 0.3 off Montana, so he's about 0.5 off the pole sitter as we head down towards Parabolica, which is not bad for Conzo, because Montana, of course, he's on a different level. Like Ryder Dahl's lap is 0.5 behind Montana, and he's in 4th, so take of that what you will. Trevor Parabolica for Conzo, and across the line it will put him up to 6th, so not a bad effort by young Conzo. He goes just behind Khalifa, just in front of J. Cole. Still improvements could be made as there's 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in qualifying, and Tom Robbo is back out on track very early here. He's not happy with how his qualifying session's gone so far.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on him. He needs to get a lap on the board, and the likes of Chalkers and Legend not too far off. It's going to be difficult for him to be on the front row, I think, because Chalkers has definitely shown some capabilities of that lap there. Tom Robble's lined up now and see how he does. He's given himself time to have 2 laps if he messes up this first lap, but he's got enough fuel for 2 laps, I think. So no, he hasn't. He's got enough fuel for 1 lap, so he's got to get this done this lap, or else his qualifying's done.
Yep. Here he comes down towards. Well, he's through turn 1 and 2 now. Just quickly, while we watch this lap from Tom Robbo, Legend did a pre-race interview, being the home Ferrari man, and he said, "Do you think you've been weaker so far this season? Can you be a strength now?" And he says he normally runs well around here. The last few races he hasn't been saying that. So keep an eye for TF Legend for the Scuderia Ferrari. I've tried to say that as Italian as my very high-pitched Irish voice can, and it has not worked, so I apologise to Italian viewers. But here comes Robbo. True Lesmo 2. It's not looked too shabby. We'll give you a look at the sector times. It's not purple. The middle sector's purple, though. He is improving. Yeah. He struggled through there. He struggled through the Ascari chicane.
As well.
Yeah, bit of a toe here. Is this Khalifa or Nick? It's Nick. So Nick gives him a bit of a slipstream. Admin bias? No, it isn't. Nick is just getting warmed up for a lap. True, the final corner, the Parabolica, down towards the start-finish line. Can Tom improve to pole? He absolutely can, and he does it by a very, very nice margin. Montana needs a big lap on him, but he has a big lap in him. Chalkers needs a big lap if he wants to get back in that front row. So does the scarlet red Ferrari driver of Legend Rosenberg as he heads down towards turn number 1, charging down Monza's long straight. Past all the Tifosi on his left, on his right. Last Ferrari winner in Monza, Charles Leclerc. Ferrari, though, in one hub, got a podium last time we came to Monza in the form of Lakitu. Keep an eye on him. In the race, of course, he has an engine penalty. The bottom 3 of Owen Wyatt, Lakitu and the Matter, all serving engine penalties. Legend down. Legend is down on his first sector, so he needs an improvement. Montana is heading down towards turn number 1, charging the Williams roars. The V6 turbo hybrid Mercedes engine in the back of that Williams, of course, charges through turn number 1 and 2. Our championship leader looks to take another pole. He's been so fast this season on pole so many times as Legend's backed off. Legend will go again. Tom Robbo also backed off there on the same stretch of track, so we keep an eye on Montana. He needs a lap here. That can't beat his teammate. He's purple in sector number 1. He's purple in sector number 1 by 0.2 of a second, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Impressive.
I don't know if Tom Roberts had a bad turn, sector 1. Sorry, I've muddled that up twice now. A bad sector 1. Or Montana's just had an amazing one, but he's up by 0.2 of a second. It's not purple in the middle sector. Tom Robbo still has a bit of pace in him for the remainder of the lap. Montana needs to gain through this final corner. Turn number 11. Needs to get a good exit. Needs to be good through the apex speeds if he wants to take pole position, because this is going to be really close, ladies and gentlemen. He was about 0.1 of a second down, and he's had a bit of a wobble.
That's it done.
Montana to the line.
Pole.
No, it is not pole position. And he backs off. Tom Robbo strikes again. But what can Chalkers do? Chalkers, he's down on his time, and this will be his last attempt. Legend is on a lap. Tom Robbo is not on a lap. He's pulled into the pit lane. But Legend, he's green in sector 1. Chalkers improving in 2. But no purple sectors are lighting up the timing screens as it stands. Nick is on another great run here. Keep an eye on him. He's up by a few tenths of a second. Definitely keep an eye on the Canadian. Legend through the Volante Ascari in a Scuderia Ferrari. It's down to this next corner. If he wants to take a pole position, he is up on his 2 sectors, but none of them are purple. He needs a monster last sector here. Nick has beaten his teammate as it stands. Khalifa is not on a run. Here comes Legend down towards the final corner. Can he somehow find a way to beat the dominant Williams Racing team? He will not, and will start the Italian Grand Prix from third. Ryder Dahl is launching it through the middle sector here. See what he can do. He's a good bit off that top 4 as Chalkers narrowly misses out on the front row. He will start from 4th. Ryder Dahl entering Ascari. Very smooth, I have to say, for the Alfa Romeo man. Oh, he's run a bit wide. This could be invalid. It is invalid, and unfortunately that is the end. And that is the end of everyone apart from Larkin, who'll go to 7th. He'll break into the top 10. And Robin will start 11th, possibly on the medium compound tyres, as that is someone improving there. I believe it was Conzo up to 7th, but it's a Williams 1-2. And Tom Robbo, though, is the leader this time, taking pole. He's 9 points to gain in the championship. If he wants to take the lead, he's gone about it in all the right ways.
Yeah, that's his first pole of the season, I believe. And yeah, Montana, he lost pole with that little bit of a moment in the parabolic. I'm pretty sure he had pole by a couple of attempts without that mistake. But yeah, Tom Robbo took advantage. And the pressure was all on Tom Robbo because he invalidated his first one. He only had one more run at it, and he nailed the lap beautifully. And he had a bit of maybe that little bit of toe on Nick may have made all the difference. We'll never know. But look at that, we've got 1/10 separating the first 4 on the grid. This is quite incredible. And we've got another group behind. I've got half second behind. So yeah, we've got 2 clear bunches of drivers here tonight. And the whole field separated by just over a second. So yeah, fair play at Tom Robbo there. He's doing all he can to try and put pressure on his teammate.
Chalkers said, am I peaking? He's had a very good qualifying. The top 4 all within 1/10 of a second, and the gap between 4th and 5th is 0.6 of a second. It's not actually quite 0.6. It is 5.97 if you want to be specific about it, but that is such a qualifying session, a lot closer than one would expect, but it is a fairly short run and it is fairly straight line speed based. But the Briton of Tom Robbo takes pole in, I was about to say Imola in Italy. Montana takes 2nd ahead of legend Chalkers. Ryder Dahl in 5th, Nick Conzo, Larkin, Khalifa, J. Cole, Robin West, Owen Wyatt, Lakitu, and the matter. The bottom 3, of course, serving engine penalties. It's a 19-2 is your pole run. Tom Robbo got 2nd last time. The Pinnacle tier came here to Monza. Could he do it one better this year? We'll now get Jamie. We'll give him the opportunity to run through OneHub's fantastic sponsors.
Yeah, as always, thank you to our sponsors and partners for providing us with their support, which helps us make the league an even better experience. And our first sponsor is Next Level Racing, who are sponsoring the league by providing prizes to the champions. We're also sponsored by Pure Sim Gear, who are providing a pair of their sim racing gloves to the driver with the most combined poles and fastest laps during the season. We're also partnered by Versatine, who are supporting our championship prizes. Also ERT, who are partners with the ERT Going Plus Tough Award and supporting us with the league trophies, and also powered by SimGrid, who are running our season and our community platform through the things such as the sign-ups, the results, and the tier classifications. So that's all done through SimGrid, which makes our jobs as admin a lot easier.
Yep, SimGrid is a fantastic website. I could say that now. I have it open right beside me. It gives great championship standings, and as are all our fantastic sponsors as we get ready to go here in Monza. The Autodromo Nazionale di Monza is a 5.793 kilometres and a 3.599 miles temple of speed. Pure straight line speed is the key, just like Enzo Ferrari would have wanted. The Italian Grand Prix has featured in every Formula 1 season. All but one have been at Monza. The British Grand Prix is the only one as well as that. Is the only one as well as Italy to do it. In 1971, Peter Gettin won by 0.01 ahead of Ronnie Peterson, and the top 5 were separated by 0.61. Our top 4 were separated by a margin just as close as that in qualifying. Could we get that in the race? And of course, Italy loves Ferrari to do well. Ferrari's home really being here at Monza not too far from Maranello. Some Ferrari success being 1976. It wasn't a win that day, but it was a win in terms of a man. Niki Lauda returned after a crash 6 weeks after a crash which he had 6 weeks ago in the Nürburgring, and he finished 4th through pain that day. But it was not pain in 1986, because it was Ferrari 1-2, just less than a month after Enzo Ferrari died. It was a win for Ferrari in 2019. Charles Leclerc won that, but the last two winners of the Italian Grand Prix have been Daniel Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly. Could we get a surprise win here in Monza this evening? We will have to wait and see, as Tom Robbo lines us up on pole position ahead of his teammate Montana. These two Williams drivers have been going at it this season, but they have not really gone at it in terms of side by side. This could be our first real opportunity to see, possibly, things heating up between the two. We have a rivalry section in One Hub Racing. The rivalries are focusing on these two guys from the Pinnacle tier this week, Samba and Henry. Neither here tonight, though. So that was a bit of a pointless segment. But I suppose maybe they're off in a nearby MMA ring. But we line up here in Monza on the grid to get ready for the lights out for the Italian Grand Prix. 3, 4, 5 red lights. We go racing in Italy, and look at the launch for Montana. That's a fantastic getaway for the championship leader, but he's tucked in to the slipstream of his teammate as we head down towards turn 1. Chalkers tries it up the inside of the Scuderia Ferrari to the fans. Well, not really delight. The Red Bull has got it done. Chalkers has gone up onto the podium ahead of Legend. Larkin is up 3 spots and alongside the Ferrari through the Curva Grande. Legend has to defend this one as Larkin is having a fantastic race start, continuing on his good form. Chucks it up the inside. Oh, he's got to go around here, and over the curb goes the Alpine, and he's been sent spinning and now will be at the back of the grid. And that was possibly a very late move for Larkin that's caused that, but it's been a great race start for Tom Robbo. He's improved on his gap from qualifying to Montana, which was extremely close on the racetrack, though. There's 5 tenths separating them now, which is what he'll love to see. Ryder Dahl very steady in the midfield. He's kept with Legend here on the race start. Nick is what would call best of the rest probably here. He's not in the front crew. He's leading Conzo though as we head down towards the parabolic for the first time.
Yeah, great start by the Williams area. Montana did get a good launch, but Tom Robbo just was had it all covered. And yeah, I was going to mention about Larkin's excellent start, but yeah, I think he just a little bit too aggressive on the curbs. And look at Chalk, because he's stalking these two Williams guys, and the Williams guys at the moment aren't having all their way. Yeah, Nicky's sort of forming a bit of a train as we've got Khalifa and Conzo looking like they're going to have a bit of a fight into turn 1. Conzo good to head inside, but Khalifa breaks so much more later. Can he get it done? They're going to be side by side. We've seen this happen in the past. Yeah, that reminded me of a certain incident as a
Verstappen fan. That one reminded me of some flashbacks. Khalifa dives off the track, but he's trying to go up the inside of the man who's had an engine penalty, but he's up to 9th. Oh, wide. Khalifa's got that done, but could be under investigation for cutting the corner, although I don't think there was much that he could do. But yeah, Chalkers is right with the Williams. Chalkers is currently 19th in the Drivers' Championship with 7 points. He's up on the podium now today. If he would finish here, he'd score more points today than he has in the rest of the season. So I'm sure he would love to complete that. As it stands, he is doing a very good job, but he does have Legend in that red Ferrari right behind. He jumped him at the start. Legend will look to get that move back very, very soon.
Yeah, Legend started covering Rydal, who's just about hanging on. He's just about going to be in DRS, but yeah, these front 5 look like they're starting to pull away from the guys at the back. As Khalifa did rejoin the track, and Owen Wyatt almost ran to the back of it, Khalifa, but managed to avoid, and there's no damage or anything, so I think it's all good. As we're going to have a look at Conzo here. Conzo might fancy the opportunity to overtake Nick, but Nick seems to have...
It's got to be late in the brakes if it is.
Yeah, Nick's got it covered in the straights, I think. So yeah,
Nick has good straight line speed. I think that's what got him so far up in qualifying. Yeah, the battery situation is all similar.
Owen Wyatt.
Here he goes, Owen Wyatt side by side with J. Cole. Sorry, Lakitu side by side with J. Cole. Lakitu is up a spot. Oh no, here comes J. Cole.
Yeah,
He's going to try and force it back into the chicane. We see his teammate have a bit of trouble here. He squeezed Lakitu. Lakitu's just about managed to not hop over the curb. And these guys will stay side by side into the first of the Lesmos. Alfa Romeo has almost made contact with the Alpine, but after all, J. Cole will get up to 10th spot after being overtaken. The front four are really pulling a gap from, well, not from Ryder Dahl. Ryder Dahl's more pulling a gap from Nick. Ryder Dahl keeping with the guys here.
Yeah, we've got Lakitu and Jacob going side by side into as the kit goes off track there. Jacob hits the back of the Alfa Romeo. So yeah, these guys are really fighting. That's allowed Larkin to. Yeah, at the back, Larkin's back in his fight, so after that spin, he's back in the battle again.
Lakitu's backed off. I think he wants a bit of DRS.
Yeah.
Although it's stuck him on the inside because the Matter was there. Matter, of course, serving a grid penalty. Lakitu's got all out of shape through the Parabolica, and Lakitu is now under pressure from Robin, who wants the inside already and will do anything to get it, as Konzo has got past Nick down towards turn number 1. But we stick with this battle. This is an almighty scrap for the fringe of the points. J. Cole stays in 10th. Robin West goes the long way around the outside, almost pushing the Alfa Romeo off the circuit. Somehow manages to hold a gap, but he'll tuck into the slipstream through the Curva Grande. Robin West, currently in 12th, wants to improve to 11th past the fast starting Lakitu, but Lakitu is really struggling, but he'll hold the spot into turn number 4 and 5.
Yeah, Lakitu's on the grass coming out of turn 2 there, but managed to hang on. I thought Robin was going round the outside Curva Grande, but there was not the room there. As it's Konzo. He's getting ahead of Nick now. Can Konzo pull away and try? He's got two Mercedes running very close together. I wonder if it might be a bit team orders there. Mercedes has got Robin West and Lakitu again.
Montana has made a mistake. Montana's made a mistake through Ascari. I'm sorry for overcutting there, but Chalkers is really fancying himself for an overtake. He was right on the back of the Williams. He's backed off a little bit so he can get more of a slipstream. As Ryder, listen to the wall! The Ferrari man is into the wall at the Parabolica, and we are now under the VSC. He's somehow in the race.
Yeah, these guys all pitting. I didn't get the pit lane as Khalifa was in the pit lane but left the pit lane.
Oh, that's not good. Rowan Wyatt's picked up a penalty as well, but the Ferrari fans' hearts will be sunk into their laps because their only red representative has visited the wall of the Parabolica.
It reminds me of, it wasn't quite as severe as
Charles Leclerc. Yeah, that's what I thought. We've a lot of guys in the pit lane
that caused the red flag, which sort of ruined Lewis Hamilton's day that day. But yeah, the VSC, these front guys had to stay out because they were all past the pit lane. And
Memes can go to the end from here, by the way, folks. It's not that difficult to go to the end. It's only 22 laps.
Yeah, but it's a two-stop
race.
It's
a two-stop. Oh, yes, it is a two-stop.
Yeah,
Legend has almost come round again. What is wrong with the Ferrari?
Don't know, maybe he just looks really nervous. The car's really nervous.
Could it be some software issues, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. For a Ferrari's fan, they've had good races and bad races at Monza.
They certainly have. There's more bad ones than good ones, unfortunately. And now we go green. As I respect what Owen Wyatt did. He's gone with the softs. He's gone for a bit of a gamble. Once again, for the Parabolica, Chalkers looks very quick on the back of Montana. Montana has to weave, as that's J. Cole out of the session through Lesmo 2. We've lost another one to the wall.
What's Chalkers going to do here? Is he going to have enough space? No, he doesn't. I believe Montana was backing up, thinking there might be a pit stop, but that might have cost him. But thankfully, he managed to use a bit of his battery and managed to keep the position. But
he's out of the DRS though.
He's not looking his usual self at the moment. He's making a few little mistakes.
Montana, normally a man untouchable, is looking fragile today. He is looking very shaky because he's now out of the DRS of his teammate. Could this be just a step up from Tom Robbo? Could it just be because he had a fantastic race from the back last week and ended up winning? Driver today last week as well was Tom Robbo. Could it just be a step up in his game? As we can see, J. Cole pulled off there as Tom Robbo runs very wide through the Ascari chicane down towards the Parabolica. Chalkers
Montana's...
could well have a go here. Montana has less than 10% DRS. Montana has burned it all just to try and get back into DRS. Has it worked? We're on board looking back with the Williams, and his DRS swing has not opened, and Chalkers is going to invite himself to the highest spot he's ever been this season, up to second position. Montana has 0 defence, and could he possibly find himself under threat from Ryder Dahl in a moment? Ryder Dahl, the highest running Italian representative. Well, I know it's technically a Swiss team, but it is the Alfa Romeo brand powering that machine. It is technically a Swiss entry because it is the Alfa Romeo Sauber, but we'll call it an Italian car for the fans today as we head down towards the Della Roggia. Chalkers now is on the hunt to get back into Tom Robbo's DRS, and I have to say, Chalkers, I fancy him for this today. He looks very good.
Yeah, that good qualifying, that half pole. Yeah, he's definitely this is by far his most assumed confident race at the moment. But he hasn't got DRS though. That may cost him, because it looks like Tom Robbo's got he's got you covered. He's used quite a lot of battery to get out of DRS. But if he can stay out of DRS, then he can pull the gap if these guys keep fighting. So this is great for Tom Robbo. What Tom Robbo wants to see, he wants to see guys like between him and Montana, because he needs to close the gap. And if the results stay like this, then yeah, and then that'll be 6 points taken off the championship leader, without a 2-point lead in the championship. Yeah, Montana is really struggling with parabolica. I've noticed it. He did better this time. May fancy the repass here.
Here we go. Montana has got to go for the repass here, and this is just what the Temple of Speed provides. If you can get a bit of DRS and slipstream, you're going to clear past. Montana needs to produce one of his classic laps that he can produce if he wants to get back in the DRS of his teammate, because if Montana gets back in the DRS of his teammate, Chalkers and Ryder Dahl will stay with him. And Montana has the hopes of Chalkers and Ryder Dahl on his back. He's gained about a tenth, and he is pushing like crazy in this first sector into Della Roggia. We see who takes the quicker line. I'd arguably say Tom Robbo through there, but Montana probably thinks different, as Ryder Dahl is he's fallen back a little bit, but still looking confident in this one. There's a bit of a scrap here though between Owen Wyatt and Khalifa. Owen Wyatt has got the job done.
Yeah, Owen Wyatt on the softs. Obviously he did start on the medium, so Owen Wyatt can do double softs to the end, so that VSC has really helped him out, I have to say, big time.
It certainly has, as Tom Robbo has gained on Montana. Montana is looking very fragile here. It's crazy, isn't it? This is possibly one of Montana's worst performances of the season, because he's not been absolutely rapid, and it's Chalkers and Ryder Dahl's best performance of the season so far. We're on lap number 8. But Montana, his worst result of the season is, well, it's obviously a non-finish for last week, but oh, he's in.
Both in.
Is Ryder Dahl followed? He has. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, this is interesting. We'll see where they come out. It'll be behind everybody, I presume. Or will they? No, they possibly could jump Legend. It's mediums for Chalkers. Ryder Dahl and Montana have a lower pit box. It is mediums for the both. So mediums for all three as they exit the pit lane. I said they'd come out at the back. They absolutely won't. They will come out possibly in front of Conzo if they can get up to speed. Well, yep, they'll come out in 3rd, 4th and 5th, meaning they've lost a single spot, and that was to Robin West. Him and Tom, the only guys not to make a pit stop yet in the Italian Grand Prix.
Yeah, so everybody else pitted on the VSC, and that sort of helped them guys who had a good pace. That helped them know the gap to the guys behind, and yeah, they've got a nice. So we'll be able to have a good look here. See if Tom Robbo obviously he's using all his battery on this in lap. He's trying to ensure that he stays ahead, and crucially, very want to stay ahead of DRS. And yeah, to say the gap is 24 seconds still. I think the pit last round here is around 22, 23 seconds. So I think Tom may stay in the lead, but will Montana be back in DRS? That's what he wants. He doesn't really care about if he's in the lead. He just wants to be back in that DRS.
Yeah, I think it's clever to go for the undercut to go back in the DRS. I think something might have happened Khalifa, because he got overtaken by Lakitu and he was struggling. Back up to speed now as Tom Robbo is into the pit lane. This is crucial for Montana's race if he can get back into this DRS or possibly take the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. Of course, I was going to say he'd only take it provisionally, but Robin West is also piled into the pit lane. So we see here, there's Tom Robbo on the pit exit. Here comes Montana charging down the main straight. He's Chalkers in his DRS. There goes Tom Robbo. He's got to still lead the Italian Grand Prix. But what's the gap got to be like as we break for turn number 1? Look how late Montana has piled on the brakes. It is 7/10 of a second, as that is Larkin, who's made a mistake at the Parabolica. It is 8/10 of a second. If Tom Robo can get his temperature up fairly quickly, he might still have a chance of pulling the DRS. No, the gap is closing, and I think Montana might have just saved himself a little bit here.
Yeah, that was a good undercut, and he managed to keep Chalkers behind crucially as well. He didn't have to fight the Red Bull man, and we'll race on now. These four guys are all four, you have to say, especially the front three. I think they've all got a great chance to win this race. As Montana he's using a lot of curb, and the car does not. His car does not look that nice under the curbs. That's quite Monza, but yeah, the DRS. Look how much he's getting. He's getting a 4/10 of DRS, and now there might be opportunity for him to maybe take the lead here if he can get a good run through the Parabolica. But yeah, Tom Rubble, he had a good in-lap, I think. He didn't lose that much time, but crucially, them 2 or 3 attempts has meant this race is back in the open again.
Yeah, Robin West picks up a 3-second time penalty, as you can see on the top of your screen. But here we go down the main straight through the curve of Alboreto or the Parabolica, down towards turn number 1. Is Montana going to take the race lead for the first time today? No, Tom Robbo's going to have enough. Not enough in the tank for Tom Robbo. Chalkers is 3/10 behind, and I have to say, Ryder Dahl, he's just keeping with them, but he is doing enough because he will gain a bit with that DRS. If he does fall to about 9/10 of a second. Nick is 7/10 of a second behind Owen Wyatt. Owen Wyatt dispatching the Mercedes-man on his fresh set of softs. So fair play to Owen. He's doing well to recover from his engine penalty. Robin West is going to have a go on the matter now as we head towards the Verante della Roggia. Is he going to go down the inside the AlphaTauri? Meant to give the Italian faithful something to cheer about? No, he is not. He thinks better of it. We've seen one man try and move down the inside there. That was Larkin, and he ended up facing the wrong way. So, clever choice there, as the two Williamses are really close through the Verante Ascari. Montana gains a lot through the Lesmos. That's something I've noticed.
Yeah, Robin has got the move done quite easy down DRS, but they've both got quite different characteristics, I think. And I'm going to mention it's an interesting dynamic because obviously Chalk is down in 19th place. Chalk is going to be a lot more aggressive than two Williamses. These Williamses have got to think of the championship. Chalk is going for the race win, so if Chalk sends up the inside, I wonder if Montana will fight it. But Montana's got a great run, and Tom
Here comes
anyway.
Montana. Going to be a lead swap. The two Williamses are side by side, entering the braking zone for turn number 1. How brave is Tom Robbo going to be in defence? He's not going to be too defensive because there is a lot of laps left in this race.
Exit, though.
He's had a great exit, and we could go side by side through the curve of Grande. We've seen Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc put on an absolute show through here once, and Tom Robbo absolutely is going to follow that. Down the outside goes Tom Robbo. Who breaks the latest? It is Montana, but he's offline for the first, not for the second bit. Montana's defended that really well, I have to say. Tom Robbo will have to stay behind through the two Lesmos at a minimal. He could get the lead back heading into the Verante Ascari. Will he want to take it into Ascari? I don't know, because if it stays like this, obviously he will get the DRS on the main straight, but he is under threat from Chalkers behind, because Chalkers, as we said, has got to be more aggressive because he only has 7 points on the table, and Tom Robbo has to lift if he wants to stick behind his teammate, which he absolutely does. Chalkers does not, because there is that few tenths, and we'll see what happens here, because Tom Robbo, will he just stick behind? I think he will. I don't even think he's at full throttle at this point. That's just how powerful the slipstream can be around the Autodromo Monza. Chalkers is right on the back of these. This could be a really good opportunity for Chalkers if these two Williamses start scrapping. Down the main straight we go to start lap number 13. It's going to be another lead change. It's going to be Tom Robbo to take it. But look at Chalkers behind. He's got to go for this one. He's trying the middle of a Williams sandwich, but it will not work. The two Williamses are side by side, and Montana was almost pushed off the circuit, allowing Chalkers to go around the outside of turn number 1. What an overtake for Chalkers. That is fantastic. That is exceptional racing for Chalkers to spot the gap and to take the opportunity. He now finds himself in second position here in the Italian Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, great driving. Now he knew where the Williams would be after Montana was on the compromise line in the first chicane, and Chalkers, look how Chalkers looks a lot more confident in the Lesmos than Tom Robbo noticed. He's going to have a run here, and I will Chalkers go for it. I think Chalkers a bit more aggressive than Tom was, but he's going to back out a bit.
He backs off.
Straight, I think.
I think that straight just ended.
Here. You may get a repeat of the previous lap, but with Tom Robbo, the guy, the sitting duck, and as Rydell's just about hanging on, he's just about staying in there. So
he's had a good lap here as Rydell.
Yeah. And Fancy Chalk was leading.
Rydell is actually purple in the middle sector, by the way. He actually has the fastest middle sector of anybody. Down the main straight we go. Montana's not close enough to Chalkers. Chalkers could take the race lead, possibly for the first ever time this season. As we enter lap number 14, we're at the halfway point in this Grand Prix, and Chalkers for Red Bull Racing leads the Italian Grand Prix. Of course, Chalkers, driving for what is Ferrari's rival team in Formula 1, not obviously Ferrari's rival team in One Hub Pinnacle tier, but in Formula 1 Red Bull are their rivals. And Rydell, I thought he fancied himself around the Curva Grande, I'm not going to lie. He's really close to Montana, and as we were saying, Montana is not his usual self here. He absolutely is not.
And if the track characteristics maybe doesn't suit, maybe he's got the wrong setup, I don't know, but yeah, he just doesn't seem that confident. And I think he's the slowest of the 4 drivers in this pack, amazingly. Look at Chalkers. Chalkers is pulling a nice gap, but Tom Robbo is still within that DRS. Yeah, Chalkers. I think Chalkers is the quickest man on track. He's just so much more confident. But this DRS will help Tom Robbo's cause. As I mentioned earlier, Robin Westmith's a nice progress on the soft tyres, up to 7th place, and there's Nick's having a good race in 8th. We've got Lakita having a win at Nick here. Nick's not gonna fight it too hard. Lakita gets through for the 8th place.
Not bad for Lakita. Oh, Nick is out of the Grand Prix, and this could well be a safety car here to change the course of the race.
Tom's in.
Tom's seen it. He's preempted it, but I don't think it's worked. I don't think we are going to go into safety car. You cannot see Nick's car. It is covered by the ambulance there. But no, we don't go. Whoa, we do!
Safety car, wow.
Oh, it's possibly the wrong time for Tom. It could have come out a little bit earlier. The race steward's a little bit poor on that front, as Legend has just gone past the pits as well. That's awful timing for a lot of people.
Tell you what, if that came out straight away, I think Chalkers would have been behind the safety car, but now he's not. He's able to go at a delta, so that hasn't worked out for Tom Robbo, because he was in the pit lane for a lot of the green. He was sort of in the pit box to safety car came out, so I don't think that's worked out for Tom Robbo. I think these guys
it was very slow coming out, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
But Nick, unfortunately, what was looking like a great weekend, or a great race weekend, obviously it's still Friday evening, but a great Friday evening for Nick, unfortunately, has turned into a non-finish. But it's an easy mistake to make, that through Ascari. It's a very easy mistake to make, so I do have sympathy for that. But we have a race in our hands, and one thing that's been common in One Hub was no safety cars. So we've got one again. Of course, it will not beat the no safety car race. 2003 in Italy was the fastest Formula 1 race ever. Michael Schumacher winning that one with a race winning time of 1 hour 14 minutes and 19 seconds. We'll be under the 1 hour mark hopefully this evening. That's due to 50% race distance, and everybody piles into the pit lane. Keep an eye on Owen Wyatt, because he can go for another set of softs. Keep an eye on Tom Robbo, because obviously we have to see where he comes out. As Chalkers has exited his pit box, will he keep the race lead? I think he will here, because Tom Robbo, of course, can only pass before the pit exit line, and there we go. Tom Robbo comes out behind Rydell in 4th.
Yeah, he's lost 2 places there. Yeah, I remember that 2003 race. It's a great battle between Schumacher in the Ferrari and Montoya Williams, but yeah, it was...
Can't lie, I was not born.
No, yeah, I was 2011 then, so yeah, I can just about remember. But yeah, Tom Robbo, that hasn't worked out for him. He's lost 2 places, so yeah, that poor the race director being a bit late on the button has really cost him. It was a good idea from Tom, but it just hasn't worked out for him.
No, unfortunately, not working out from there.
It could have been if the race director did his job, he would have been the lead for sure. But sadly for him, he didn't. But everybody's on the same lap old soft, so there's no tyre. This is very rare. You see everybody in the same amount of tyres of the same type of tyre. So there's no advantage, no disadvantage here. So it's just going to be pure There'll be sprints at the end. There'll be no issues about tyre wear. These will get to the end for sure. And
yeah,
this allows the likes of Larkin to come back into play. The likes of Kalikitu, the likes of Khalifa. They all come back into play now. And well, I still think these front four have the pace on the field. But Owen Wyatt, watch out for him. He's in 6th place. I think if Owen Wyatt can get by Konzo, I think Owen Wyatt can join this lead battle for sure.
Owen Wyatt's been up there all season. He's just been fairly unlucky or has dropped off. And apart from Japan, he had a bit of a horror show in Japan, but we're not going to talk about it because he's really picked up his form in the latter parts of the season. Our final 2 rounds, of course, are Canada and Portugal. You don't want to miss them because we've a championship battle heating up here, and it could be even closer depending on the results of this race. Tom Robbo was the quickest in qualifying, so he is still technically the quickest man on the circuit. But we'll wait and see, because Chalkers has looked fairly comfortable here this evening. Legend is in 9th, needs to pick up a few points if he wants to stay in this championship battle. He's 26 points behind our race leader. Apologies, he's 34 behind our championship leader. He's 26 behind Tom, so he is almost but mathematically out, so he needs to pick up a good few points. He's had a difficult season, to be fair to Legend.
He needs a podium minimum, and that depends what Montana does. So he had such a good start season, but the mid part hasn't really gone for him, and he had that spin. And but this safety car though brings it back into play. And it's going to be difficult to take around Monza, of course, but if he can get past a couple of these guys ahead of him, then don't count him out. If he can. But as you mentioned, Monza's probably one of the hardest tracks to overtake on. When you factor in the DRS trains,
you can overtake, you just can't keep it.
It's just staying ahead. That's what I meant. Yeah, as a safety car will surely come in this lap, I think, and we'll have a 10-lap sprint to the end of the race.
We love a good ending to a race here in the Pinnacle tier, so this one will probably be very good. I can't lie, we've almost topped every race this season. We'd have something absolutely insane, and then it would be absolutely insane the next week. Because last week we had the top, I think it was almost the top 7 within a second at one point. But here we go, it's a very late. Apologies, my mic disconnected. It's a very late call by our race directors as we go racing here in Monza.
Right down. Look at the
restart. Look at this. This is a great restart here. It's down towards turn number 1. It's all sorts of chaos. It's like a NASCAR race down here towards turn number 1. Tom Robbo is trying to get past his teammate. Ryder Dow was up to 2nd, is now 4th somehow. But a really great restart here for Tom Robbo. He's right on the back of Montana, where he needs to be. Heading down towards the Volante della Roggia. Braking just after the 100-metre board. He's not braking early, so he doesn't hit his teammate. He wants the overtake.
Yeah, that was very late decision to say that coming. Chalkers, I don't. He had to. Chalk was a bit compromised there, but he managed to manage it quite well with everybody else behind. That was
Chalkers is pushing like crazy. He could possibly pull DRS if these two Williams men go scrapping. The 2 men for the championship. It's only 8 points separating them, so they know that as Chalkers has gone purple in the middle sector. I don't think it'll be a fastest lap because, of course, he did not get a proper exit out of the Parabolica or the Curva Alboreto, as it's better known now. But Montana needs to be very careful here if he wants to keep his championship lead and possibly extend it. His teammate beat him in qualifying. He absolutely will not want him to beat him in the race. As we head down towards the main straight to start lap number 19, Chalkers leads. The man who is 19th in the Drivers' Championship leads the Italian Grand Prix. Tom Robbo is not going to be close enough on this occasion, but dropping back towards the back of the field. Konzo, unfortunately, has lost the position to that scarlet red home Ferrari of TF Legend, who hit the wall of Parabolica on lap number 4. He is back up to 7th now, and can definitely improve on that. He's a very quick driver, is Legend. But Ryder Dahl, as he has been all day, has surprised me. He's keeping with Tom Robbo.
Yeah, I don't know what happened on the turn 1 because he had a clear second place. He must have just maybe broke too early. I don't know. The 2 Williams got him, but yeah, Montana is giving it his all, trying to stay in this DRS. But Chalkers is it's going to be very tight. As Tom Robbo, as we've got Legend to 6th place. Legend, don't count Legend out of this. He's up to 6th, and he's got Owen Wyatt ahead. Owen Wyatt is in 5th place. Owen Wyatt, can he handle DRS? It might be a 6-way battle. I'm going to predict a 6-way DRS train here.
If he can just keep with it. I don't think he can, though. Yeah. But he still could come back on the next lap, because it's not Montana or Tom. It is Ryder Dahl in front of him. He has been quicker than him over the course of the season. But Tom Roberts going to go for Montana here if he can get a good
he has to.
lap.
He has to go for it. No DRS yet, but he has to go for it, because you can see that Red Bull pulled away, and Tom Robbo needs a win. He needs to take advantage of a I'm not going to say lackluster, because he's only second place, but a slightly off colour.
Yeah, it's on a regular day for Montana. It's very unorthodox for him to be, let's say, this mistake prone. He's normally clear of everybody, and the only way that he'd lose is due to unluck, which has happened a lot this season, to be fair. But yeah, this is really Tom Robbo's chance, and he needs to get past his teammate, because Chalkers is rapid. He's had a bit of a slower lap this time, but he's still outpacing the man to beat. Chalkers is 19th in the Drivers' Championship. He's been out more on lap 1 in this season than anybody else. Was out on lap 1 in China is specifically the one we all remember, because it was a very slow sort of incident. It was a very slow spin out of the second to final corner, but he's having a good go of this. He's definitely enjoying himself, and could he possibly
as So Montana thinks about it, but it's just too far back, and Chalkers, all the hard work, but he just didn't quite get the gap for DRS. But Tom Robbo has got a lot more back with the guys around him, so watch out, Tom Robbo in the race. Tom Robbo's playing a long game here, but we've seen Tom Robbo play a long game in the past, and it hasn't always worked out for him. I think Tom Robbo needs to be a bit more aggressive.
That's what we were saying, yeah. He needs to be more aggressive. Because when he was more aggressive last week, he won from the back of the grid, and it's almost like when he comes behind his teammate, there's that little bit more nervousness, that little bit more anxiety rushed through his veins. But he can't have that if he wants to win this title, and he's pushing right up behind Montana now, his Williams Racing teammate. He's been behind him a fair few times this season. He wants Montana to be the man behind as he pushes through. Oh, Chalkers is gone! Oh no!
Oh, wow.
Oh no, the Red Bull Racing man has spun through Ascari, and unfortunately heads to the back of the grid. And now it's a straight fight with the championship leaders. Oh, I feel so bad for Chalkers there. It's a very innocent mistake. We see Nick make it to cause the safety car, but here comes Tom Robbo. Now is really his chance. Side by side down the main straight towards turn number 1, and now Montana has to defend this to some circumstance, but he's not. And now look, he arrives in 4th spot. He could still end up on the podium if he can get past Ryder Dahl. It's TF Legend, the man who you can never truly rule out in the Grand Prix. He'll always find a way to appear at the very end, but Tom Robbo now needs to do what he did earlier and pull out of a second.
Yeah, it needs to just nail these exits, nail these apexes, and he's got some battery to play. I wonder if he might just use a bit of battery to maybe pull away. As mentioned,
someone's made a mistake. It was Owen Wyatt. He almost went round to the Della Roggia chicane, but he can't caught it.
Quite keep up with these front forwards. Legend keeps setting fastest laps, so Legend definitely has some underlying pace there. If he can get past Ride down, then he might threaten Montana. As Montana, though, he's in a position to repass here if he just have a good final sector. But Tom Robbo's a lot more confident in the Ascari chicane. Look, he's gained 2 attempts in the Ascari chicane. Tom Robbo just looks to have the confidence in the chicane. So Montana, if he has a bad parabolica, he may not be able to read passes.
Here we go. He's had a bit of a mistake here in qualifying, as we've seen. He's not had the greatest run, but he might just have enough here. But down the main straight, I think Legend could definitely send one on Ryder Dahl. Ryder Dahl's struggling with his battery management, unfortunately. Montana is not close enough. He's broke much earlier than his teammate, as Robin West has got the job done on Owen Wyatt. Owen is struggling a little bit here. He's more experienced than these soft compound tyres doing the medium soft to everybody's soft medium soft. No, that's the same thing. But he's had a lot more confidence than Robin in this race, but unfortunately he's lost out. Robin does have that penalty though, so Owen will still have a bit of confidence in that. But Tom Robbo is pulling a bit of a gap here, and this is getting back to worry season for the Swiss driver that is NSX Montana. The untouchable man throughout the season has become a little bit more fragile, and we're saying this like he's at the back of the grid. He's second and 5/10 off the race lead, but it's just the matter that this is in, and not the guy in 8th place. The guy in this Williams, and I apologise for that awful dad joke, that was terrible, but Larkin picks up a 3-second time penalty. I don't think Montana can take the race lead here either. 7:10 separates two Williams. He's way too far back unless he burns an extreme amount of his battery, and even at that it would be a stretch. Legend is still struggling to get past Ryder Dahl. Ryder Dahl's did a great job. It'd be his first podium of the season if he can stay where he is. And where he is a beautiful, beautiful position. If these two Williamses decide to become 2016 Rosberg and Hamilton, it would be Ryder Dahl who would inherit the race lead. But the race lead doesn't mean everything. Unfortunately, we've seen that with Chalkers, who's down to 12th. And of course, the race lead doesn't mean anything, because if we throw back to 1971, Peter Gettin took it on the last straight, won by 0.01 ahead of Ronnie Peterson. We're throwing back the years there, though. We're in a very different era of Formula 1 now.
It's possible around Monza, we can see that again, and there's a that's the only thing we've missed this season, like a photo finish across the line. That's the only thing we've missed. Is Montana, this DRS is keeping in play, but it just in the final sector, it just doesn't have the confidence in the final sector. Tom Overall, I was going to mention China, where Montana found a heap of pace in the last 2 laps, but I don't think he has that pace in hand today. He's been pushing hard, but he just doesn't seem. He's a bit closer now. It's
Larkin's out.
Will that be a late safety car?
It is!
And it is. Now, will you pit? Do you pit the tyres, or do you
see what Tom Robbo does? No one seems to be pitting. And
Chalkers will pit for sure. You know, the guys at the back, Chalkers.
Yeah, Chalkers should definitely pit. He's not going to lose anything. Oh, he doesn't. He stays out. I think he thinks more than Khalifa has pit. He'll go up to 10th, but his tyres obviously still in good nick. This will be quite a short safety car. It'll be 1 lap safety car. It will. We have to have 2 laps of racing. And just like we've had in Abu Dhabi, in Spain, in China, we will have close action on the last 2 laps. There's a problem here. I believe the leaders have already passed the safety car, and the safety car's meant to come in this lap, so this will be... Oh, this could be an issue. You might have a safety car without a safety car, if that makes any sense. Ooh, but where's that safety car going to go is my question. We have a bit of a mess on our hands here. Yeah, the leader was past. I believe the leader was past the safety car line before it came in pit. So the safety car has to come in the end of this lap. But where would it go? That's what I'm wondering. Suddenly. Yeah, is it going to be still on track? Commentator turns health and safety officer should be the title of this stream, because I'm genuinely concerned what's going to happen if we come in this lap. Khalifa is slowing down. I don't think he'll get to catch up. Are we going to have 1 lap of action at the very end? This has helped Tom Robbo, because there'll be no DRS. Yeah. Yeah. We haven't got a safety car in this lap indicator, which means we're doing another lap of it. Who's got the fastest lap? I'll go and have a check. The fastest lap belongs to Legend. Alright, with a 1:20.2. So yeah, I believe with this result, Legend may stay in the championship. He'd just be in there with a glimmer of hope, but you only need 2 DNFs and 2 race wins as the safety cars picked on Mobile. So yeah, we are going to get a 1 lap sprint to the end, and well, this is going to be absolute carnage, I think. Yep. This one's... I turned down your headphone volume a little bit, because there could be a bit of shouting at this. Well, we've broken the game, because you're meant to have 2 laps of racing at the end, but we're only going to get 1. That's the way, it works. But we've broken the game again, so that's fantastic. I say again because it's not the first time this season that we've broken it. We had 6 safety cars at one point, I think. Well, that mightn't be.
Yeah, just hopefully it's a bit more notice this time. Last time where Chalk got the message literally at the last corner, which is unfair on anybody. That's hopefully we get the message at the right time, because that was a bit of an issue last time, I think.
Yeah, it's a very late call. I think we should get it earlier because there we go. It's on cue. Now, well, folks, strap yourselves in, because the championship leaders, the championship leader himself in second, and the man in second is in first, are going to be racing on the final lap of the Grand Prix. It's an Italian-Swiss car in third and an Italian car in fourth in Monza. Really, I don't know what to expect from this, and if I said I did, I'd be lying, because Tom Robbo is going to lead us away, and he's gone. We go racing. He's absolutely caught his teammate 110% napping as we head round the parabolic. Oh, Montana's almost spun. He's almost binned it, and Ryder Dahl sneaks up to second for Sauber. Montana's got the slipstream. He's got to be side by side with this Alfa Romeo Sauber towards turn number 1. But Montana, as we said, has made another mistake. And Ryder Dahl breaks much earlier and almost is driven off the circuit by Legend. But down towards turn number 4 and 5, Tom Robbo has this one in the bag. If he doesn't make a mistake, Montana's crumbled heading on to the final lap of the race, and Legend is going to send this one on Ryder Dahl possibly. He needs a podium if he wants some sort of championship battle towards the end of the season. Oh, Ryder Dahl's gone into there very, very deep, and it would be unfortunate for Ryder Dahl to lose his podium. Oh, bit of dangerous defending into Lesmo 1, but I'd do the same if I was in these last lap conditions. Montana is driving like a madman. This is the quickest he's driven today. He's gained 0.3 of a second almost on his teammate Tom Robbo. It absolutely will not be enough, and Ryder Dahl is weaving his way down the straight, heading into the Ascari chicane. Legend Rosenberg for Ferrari to get Ferrari back on the podium for the second consecutive Italian Grand Prix. It's going to be a send into the Parabolica, but Tom Robbo has just did enough. Legend is going to send it into the Parabolica. We could see in the background it's got to be round the outside for the Ferrari. Can he just do enough? Oh, he's been pushed off the circuit. We cut to the front. Buongiorno sul podio. Tom Robbo, the Williamsman, wins in Italy, and Legend's actually hit the wall. I think he's made it across the line. Yeah, he has just made it across the line, and the Ferrari will finish 4th. Owen Wyatt will finish 5th. Montana will finish 2nd, and the championship lead is cut down heading into the Canadian Grand Prix.
Oh my god, Montana, wow, oh, you almost lost it coming on the restart. It's so lucky there, that the gravel's been removed, because a few years ago he didn't drop to the back of the field, but that's what he needed. And I wonder if Ryder Dahl got a message, because obviously that overtake happened before the start finish rate. I wonder if Ryder Dahl had to see the position. That's what might have happened there. I think Ryder Dahl might have been caught out, because obviously that overtake was done before the start finish rate. But yeah, Tom Robbo, that was needed, a race win.
Second in a row.
Now, yeah, he's down to 5 points now, the championship lead, so all to play for going to Canada. And if Tom Robbo wins the last 2 races, he wins the World Championship.
I think if Montana had it crashed at that moment, we could have called the championship, because Tom Robbo would have had such a mental advantage heading into the final races, but it didn't, and it is a Williams 1-2 again in Italy. Tom Robbo wins ahead of Montana, ahead of Ryder Dahl, Legend, Owen Wyatt, Konzo, The Matter, Chalkers, Robin, Lakitu, Khalifa, Larkin, Nick, and J. Cole. Larkin, Nick, and J. Cole, 2 Alpines and a Mercedes being the non-finishers here, but we have to pick some drivers of the day, and because I've been nabbing it, I'll let you go first.
It's such a tough one. It's just, there's so many good drivers. There was one for sure to pick, but sadly, in the end, it didn't happen for him. I think we all know who that is.
I think we do,
I'm gonna go a bit left field here. I'm gonna go a bit left field here. I'm going for a driver who really hasn't really shown much this season, and hasn't really been up there in terms of drive data domination. I'm going to go for The Matter, because I noticed he started at the back of the field.
Finished 7th, actually,
yeah, he had a good race, yeah, and I believe I always want to give a shout out to the guys near the back, and the guys who managed to recover all the carries. Yeah.
That's a very good result.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him. Well done, mate. You must be happy with that race. How difficult was it getting from the back of the field to getting such a good result? And what were your nerves on that last lap?
I'm going to... Normally I just send one for the race winner, but I'm going a bit different as well. I'm going to go for a man who... I think I mentioned this on the stream. I'm going to go for Ryder Dow, because I was very impressed with his performance in that race. And my question is, well done. How did you keep up with the pace with three guys who've been exceptional this season, the championship leaders? How did you manage to find the pace in the car for this week? But really, we've had another absolutely amazing Pinnacle tier race.
Yeah, incredible, just incredible. The level of driving at front was amazing, and I know we were a bit nitpicking Montana, but it's not bad though. If you have a bad day, finish second, I think you take that. But yeah, it was just that restart. I thought it was a goner. I thought he was a
goner as well. Yeah, I thought he was a goner.
He did well to keep control of it. Obviously, I presume it was just cold tyres, a bit of a snap, and his heart must have been in his mouth there. But yeah, Tom did what he had to do, and he almost got help from the guys behind, but not quite. But yeah, this is so exciting, these last two races. And
we're in for an absolute scrap and a half in the final two races. How much points is for between first and second? Because I have no idea, I can't remember.
5 points, I believe, because obviously you get 20 for the win and you get 17 second place.
Yeah, that's it. I just couldn't remember if it was 17 or 18, so it is going to be 5 points separating the top two heading into the final races of the season. Canada and Portugal are our next two visits. A beautiful trip over to Canada and then a fantastic trip to sunny Portimao. But that is all we do have time for here in Italy. It was an exceptional race, which was won by Tom Robbo in the end, ahead of his teammate Montana. But stay safe, stay well, ladies and gentlemen. We shall catch you next time. Arrivederci.